Hey, thanks for stopping by and clicking on this video. I record under the artist name of audiotech Audio. I have releases on Traxrecords of Chicago. If you'd like to know more about me, you can visit my YouTube channel and check out this video here, or you can visit my website at www.auditechaudio.com. So today we're going to have a look at some drum processing techniques so that we can get our drums sounding loud and punchy. So let's dive straight in. So here we are in Logic, and I currently have some tracks set up. I've got a kick drum, hat, some percussion, a clap, and another percussion loop here as well. So we just got some basic tracks set up just so that we can apply some basic processing and just get these tracks sounding quite punchy and loud. So what you'll notice I've done is that I've grouped all of these tracks into a bus, and if you're in Logic, you just basically select all your tracks like this, and then you can right click and then you can create a track stack, and I've created a summing stack. And then this is where I'm going to apply some bus processing later on. So first of all, we have our kick drum. Sounds a bit like this. And then we have a hat, some percussion, clap, and some more percussion. So at the moment, not sounding very nice, a little bit distorted, and levels are not really set up. So if we take a look at frequency analysis tool here, frequency analyzer, I press play, you'll notice that there's some clipping and distortion going on over here. And then if you look at the overall balance of the mix, you'll see that the mix frequency-wise isn't that balanced. So let's take a look at that. So what we're going to do first of all is some leveling to get the levels of the tracks sounding quite nice. So I'm going to select all to start with, and then just move these down to around minus 6 dB. We look at the fader here. So if we take a look over here now, we can see that we are no longer punching up into the red here. We're around the 0 dB mark. There's still a little bit more leveling we can do just to improve that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a look at some of the tracks, individual tracks, to see which ones are sticking out, and then how we can get this then to just sit around 0 dB instead of then clipping, as we can see here, or going over 0 dB. So let's have a listen to this, and let's try and just balance these out. So we can see now that we're currently just going over by 0.6. So if I reset that, let me just play that back now that we've made those adjustments. So now we're at minus 0.6. So we have some better leveling of our drums, and we're not hitting over 0 here. So if we look at our peak, let's just do that. Minus 0.1, minus 0.1 there as well. So we can see that we're in a better situation now with our drums. Now let's have a look at the frequency balance of the track as well. So if we start pressing play. So you can see we have a lot of information up here, which is where our hi-hats are maybe a little bit dominant. Let's make some changes to those. So already our drums are starting to sound a little bit more balanced and better in terms of frequency and level. So what we're going to do now is take a look at the frequency content of each particular drum instrument. So we'll start with the kick. So we can see that we've got lots of information up here in our kick, which we can maybe get rid of, we don't need. And then there's some information down here that we can also get rid of as well. So what we'll do is we'll put an EQ in there, deal with that. So I like to set my EQs up at linear phase. So let's just take a look at this now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll off some of this low end frequency here to around about 30 Hertz. One of the nice tricks with the Pro Q EQs are if you select this headphone, you can hear the information there that you're removing. Okay, so that is just going to basically just create problems in your mix later on, take up headroom. So we don't really need that. You're not going to hear that when you're finally mixing and mastering. So that can be removed. You can choose maybe a steeper filter slope as well. And then if we come from this end here, you don't want to lose too much of the click of the drum because that's what's sounding quite nice. I'll show you where that click is coming from. So here I'm using kick 3. So if I mute the click, that is adding a bit of character to the drum and making it sounding just a little bit more interesting. So yeah, keep that. So let's have a look now at our hi-hats. So you can see it's in pretty good shape. There's not much information down here, but we might want to try removing some of this information here just to see what that sounds like. So again, add another EQ. Yeah, we can see that we got some information down here that we can just basically take away. Once again. and then maybe some from the top end as well. So now we're going to look at the percussion as well. Maybe we could do some processing on those. Once again, lots of information down here that you want to get rid of. Now we'll take a look at the clap. Again, lots of information in this area here. Get rid of some of that. Then finally, this final percussion loop here. Take a look at that one. And you can see lots of information down there we don't need. So what we want to start doing now is looking at the individual frequencies of each of these elements, because there's some resonances that we could maybe remove that don't sound very nice. So let's have a look at how we can do that by soloing this one and playing that back. So again, one of the nice features of Pro Q is using the headphone tool. So if I just select that, and then we can start sweeping and looking for resonant frequencies. We can then just notch out sounds like this, yeah? These are the things we want to remove. Cleaning up our sounds there. So just take this to these. That's what we're removing. Those resonances. So if we take a look at now where we are and what we originally started at. So this is what we have now. Of a tighter and cleaner drum sound there. So let's move on now to some bus processing. So I'm just going to move this down. So then I can add a compressor. So we're going to add a drum bus or glue compressor. So normally I like to use the SSL G-bus compressor for this. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the sidechain filter to around 250 Hertz. So if I go to the editor here, controls, go more or less there. Then back to our remote view. And then what we're going to do is set our attack to slow attack, and then we're going to mess around with the release settings here to get a sound then which will make our drum sounds slightly more cohesive, and that's what they call glued together. So what we're aiming for here is around 2 or 3 dB of compression. I set the sidechain filter to around 250 so that it doesn't get triggered by the kick drum when the kick drum is hitting, and this is only now compressing the percussion and the hats. So by disabling and enabling this plugin, you hear that the drums just seem to have a little bit more life and energy. When I don't have this on, they sound a bit flat. Then I turn it on, and they sound like a little bit more lifeless. So have a bit more rhythm and life to them. So let's listen to that again. So here we have the bus compressor off. And then if I turn it on, it will start to sound a little bit more energetic and have a little bit more life. So here we can hear now that the drums are sounding much better. We've got them all leveled nicely. We've removed frequencies that we don't need, and also now we've added some bus compression so that they sound a little bit more cohesive and glued together. So next thing what we can do is we can then add what we call some parallel bus compression to our drums, just to give them a bit more of a thicker sound. So what I'm going to do here is go to Ascend and click on this. Sorry, from my bus, sorry. This one here, sorry. Sends. Choose a bus. Then I'll use bus 2. So here now we're going to send some information from our master drum bus into another bus, and then mix in some compressed drum sounds with this. So to do this, I'm going to use compressor that I like to use for this is the go, and just going to send some sound from here. using this knob. So I'll send that up to 0 dB. Then I'm going to just gradually blend this in. But what we'll see is we might have to change these settings here because we don't want to have too much reduction here and too much of a squash sound. So if I minimize, or sorry, solo that, just listen to what's happening on this here. So we don't have anything at the moment. So we're going to be mixing this in with our original drums. So let's just remove that for the moment and solo that. So here we have our drum bus, which we created earlier with the EQ. We now have our send, which I'm going to turn on. And then we're just going to start mixing in this into our final mix. If I mute that, you can hear the difference just by what this is adding to our drum track. So what I'm going to just do now is some a little bit more EQ on our drum bus so that we have removed any sort of more resonances from the drum bus that may have been caused by mixing all of these tracks together. So I'm just going to add the Pro Q4 in there. Drop that in just before my compressor. Set it to linear phase again. And then we take a listen to this. So what we're going to start doing now is let's listen out for resonant frequencies within our drum mix, overall drum bus mix. So let's do that. Just listening for anything that sounds resonant and unpleasant on the ears. Or maybe boxy. for something sounding resonant there. So we can see how by just EQing that then, it tightens up the sound of our drums, sounding a bit loose and maybe just a little bit boxy. But when we have this EQ and these just notched frequencies out, then we can see that our drums start tightening up. Let's have a listen to what we've removed. Watch your ears. We're removing this harshness and resonance. Just making our drums sound a little bit nicer there as well. So what we can do now is we just solo this as well. And then what I'm going to do is copy that EQ over to here as well. Add a bit of EQ into this as well. So there we go. There was some basic drum processing techniques there. That will get your drums sounding much more, let's say, cleaner and more punchier. And then we'll just add a little bit more weight to your bottom end. So hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you'd like to see more, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.